Alright guys, in this video, we are going to focus on how to design a template for the category and the other archive dynamic pages for your blog website. So those dynamic pages I meant is like, for example, the lifestyle. If you click on the lifestyle now, you can see that we have not worked on this particular category dynamic page. And that is same thing in other category pages. And also, for example, if you go to the destinations, all these pages are what we are going to design the template for. Okay, but we have designed the blog post template, which we use as our homepage now. Like if you go to your homepage right now, you can see that this is the blog post template we designed in the previous video, and I will suggest you go and watch that video so that you can have a beautiful blog post template on your homepage like this. Okay, and with that, I will assume you have logged on to your WordPress dashboard, and if you have done so, just come up here and click on customize. So once you are brought here to the customization section of this particular block system that we are using, then all you need to do is to scroll down to post types and click on categories. So now here, the first thing you see here at the top here on the categories customization section is the page title. So here on this page title now, let me first of all click on one of all these category dynamic pages so that we will be seeing the preview of what we are designing. So I click on the lifestyle, then here, this is the page title. And as you know, in the previous video where we were designing the blog post template for the home page, we switched the page title off. That is here. We switched it off because it doesn't make sense to include it here. But on all these other dynamic pages, like the categories and destinations, the title supposed to be there. So that is why I am going to leave it on. So, and now, if you look here on the category, you can see like it's just like one word, category lifestyle. There is no differentiation to show that this is a category and that we are in a lifestyle page of the category. So we need to make it look more nicer and understandable for anybody that visits any of your category templates. So for us to do that, I'm just going to click on this page title, then we'll be brought to this place. So once you are here under the general, first let's come down to these elements. Here on the elements, if you expand this title, then you can come down to this archive label. If you like, you can switch it off, then it will be only the lifestyle you will see there. But that is not what I want to do. What I want to do is that I will switch it on, but I will come up here and select the type 2 layout, which is this. And as you see it now, it looks more nicer than the previous layout type. And with this, anybody that visits this web page will notice that this is a category and this is a lifestyle page of the category. Then with this being done, let's come over to the elements here. So here on the elements, you can see we have the title, which is this, and we have the description. But the description is not showing because you don't have a description for your category pages. The description I meant is like, for example, it's like if you go to your dashboard here on the category editing section, if you have a description that you added here, so that is the description that will display here. But for me, I don't want to make use of it, so I'll go ahead and make it invisible. But in that same hand, I will come down to the breadcrumbs and make it visible, just as you can see here. And this is very, very important for two reasons. One, for search engine optimizations. Then two, for a better user experience. Like for example, if a user who is browsing through your website find himself on this page, if he wants to go back to the home, he can click here and go back to the home, or click here and go back to the home. Okay, so this will display on all the category pages. And with that, if you come down to here on the horizontal alignment, you can see that it's on center. If you like, you can align it to the right or to the left, but I will leave it at default on the center as it is. Now come down to vertical alignment. Here it is also by default at the center. You can choose to align it to the top, or you leave it at the center as it was. So now coming down under the alignments, you will see the container width, which by default is set to narrow. Same thing on container background image. So I am going to leave them by default. And in that same hand, if you come down here, you will see the container minimum height. This, the height of this. If you like, you can reduce it to any height of your choice, or you can increase it. But I'll just leave all of them at default. Okay. Now let's come up here and click on this design tab. Now here, I will come down here on the container background, click on the color palette. Now I will give it a background color of, let's say, a bit grayish like this. Then now I will have to work with this text color. So for that, I will come down here on the breadcrumbs font color. You can see the colors here. So the initial is this one. So I will just click on the palette, then change the color to any color of my choice. Like for example, I'm going to make it grayish. So perfect. Now I will click on the text color palette. Then we have this link hover color. So I'm just going to click on the hover color palette. Now change it to any color of my choice. Maybe I make it more darker. Okay. So perfect. If I hover on it now, you can see how it is. Now let's go over and start the designing of the cards. So for that, I will come up here and go back one step. Then we are brought back to this section. Now here, like if you have watched the previous video that I did on how to create a template for a blog post, which we use as our homepage, and that is this one. As you can see, this is how the template looks. So that is how we are going to set up these category pages also. So for that, what I'm going to do is that, as you already know, all these layouts. So the one we chose is enhanced grid. So I'm going to choose it for this category page also. Just as you can see, this is how it's looking now. Then coming down under it, I will still leave the number of the post at 10. Then come down to the content area vertical spacing. Then I will still leave the spaces at the top and bottom just at default, the way it is. I will not change anything. So under it, here on the categories elements, we have the sidebar, which I said that I'm going to make a separate video on how to include the sidebar to our templates. But if you like, you can just switch it on here, and this will be how it will look with the sidebar. But that is not what I want to do. But like I mentioned shortly, that we're going to do a separate video on this. So let me switch it off for now. Then I will come up here and click on the card options. So here and on this card elements, what I'm going to do is to arrange it the way we arranged the home page here. Just as you can see that the first one is the featured image and is followed by the post title, then followed also by the categories and destinations. So that is how I am going to do on this particular category archive pages here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to restructure them by dragging the featured image and placing it at the top. So perfect. Then secondly, the title, I drag it and place it under the featured image. Then as you can see, we have already implemented the destinations here on the each card of the blog post. But in case you missed how to do it, then let me show you how to do it. What you are going to do is to come here in the post meta, expand it. Then in your own case, you will see only one taxonomy. All you need to do is to clone it, then you will see the second one under here. Then in that second one, expand it, then here you will select the taxonomy. Then here under taxonomy, in your own case, if you have not implemented it before, you will see categories here, but just come down and select destinations. Then you will see the destinations added to each card. And in that same hand, you come down to the style and change it from default to button, just as you can see now. Then with this, what I'm going to do is that I am going to drag this taxonomy, the one with the destination. I will drag it and place it above the category taxonomy. Then it will flip and be the first one. Then I toggle it up again. Now what I'm going to do is to come down here and make this post meta invisible. That is it here. And make it invisible. Then there is nothing much to do here because I'm going to be leaving this cards gap and card inner spacing, including the horizontal alignment the way they are at default. That's what I'm going to do is to come up here and click on the design tab. Now here in the design tab, so let's start the styling of all these content. So starting from the title font color, but on the hover is blue. So I'm going to click on the hover color palette. Now I'll make the hover light gray, just as you can see. Perfect. Then in that same hand, I come down here on the meta font color. Just as you can see, this is the initial color and this is the hover color. So now I am going to make the hover to be full black. Okay. Now I click on the initial color palette and make it gray. Okay. So now I'm going to come down to the meta button background. Then I will first of all click on the initial color palette. So here I will select this to be light gray. You can also type in the code number of that particular color if you know it. So I'm going to make it light gray. Then on the hover, I'm going to make it black, just as you can see. So perfect. So then after this, under it, we have the card background color. So what I'm going to do is to click on the color palette of the card background color. Then I select any color of my choice, which I'm going to make it gray, a very light gray. Same color with this one here on the home page. That's how I'm going to make the same color, a very light gray. Then I will scroll down again. Here on the card border, I will leave it as it is at default. But I will come down to the card shadow and click on the color palette. Now I'll first of all give it the color of the shadow I want, which in my case is going to be black. Then with that, I come here and they increase the opacity, which is the transparency, just as you can see the shadow down here. So perfect. So now I think we are perfectly done with the design of this category archive dynamic page template. But if you like, you can come down here on the border radius. You can decide to include a border radius to it. Like for example, if you happen to say that all the borders are 15 pixels, that means all the four corners of these boxes are given 15 pixels border radius, just as you can see. So now we are totally done with this design. So let's come up here and click on publish. Now you can go over to your website, and as you see, this is the home page of our website with the design of the templates we implemented on it. But now the template we just finished, like for example, if you click on this lifestyle category page, you can see this is the template we have just designed right now, and this is how it's looking. And that is the same design when you go to other category pages, like on the travel tips, you can see that is how it's looking, or even on the destinations, like if you click here, there is how it's looking. So this template is the template of all other category pages, including the destinations, except the home page, because the home page we have done a separate video tutorial on how to create a blog post template for our home page, which is the one I did in the previous video. Okay, so now there is something I would want to show you here. For example, now let's say I go to destinations, and down here on Europe I come down to Netherlands and click on Amsterdam. With this, as you can see the breadcrumb, we came from home to Europe as a category, and to Netherlands as the subcategory of Europe, and to Amsterdam as the subcategory of Netherlands. But if you look up here in the URL, it is not showing like that, because it's supposed to show as this breadcrumb goes. That is how it's supposed to show here on the browser. And this is very, very important for search engine optimizations. So to correct this, what we are going to do is to go back to our dashboard, then navigate down to this place at CPT UI. Then come over and click on add/edit taxonomies. Then once you are brought here, but in case you've not watched the video I did on how to include a custom taxonomy to your blog website, which makes us to install this CPT UI plugin here. That is what we use to create this post destinations taxonomy here. Because of this, we were able to add this. So now that you have clicked on add/edit taxonomies here on the CPT UI on your dashboard, then it will open up the setting sections, which we are going to come over here and click on edit taxonomies tab. Then as you see, we are on our destinations. So with this, scroll down to this place, rewrite hierarchical. As you can see, by default, it's set to false. So change it and set it to true. Then now, come down and click on Save Taxonomy. So now with this being done, one other thing you need to do is to hover here on Settings and come down to click on Permalinks. Come down and make sure you select the post name, because if you did not do this, it will not work properly. So once you've selected this, come down and click on Save Changes. Then now, if you happen to go over to your website now, navigate to Destinations, then navigate down to Europe like we did before, and navigate down to Netherlands and to Amsterdam, for example. Then you will see it up here in the browser that it comes from destination to Europe, from Europe to Netherlands, and from Netherlands to Amsterdam. So, like I mentioned shortly, that this is very, very important for search engines optimizations. So make sure you set it properly, because it will help you to get traffic from search engines. So now we are perfectly done with the design of these templates for category and other archive pages, including destinations for our blog websites. Then in the next video, we are going to focus on how to create a template for a blog website single page. Just like if you click on this one right now, you can see that for now, this is how our blog single page look. So we are going to work on it in the next video. And until then, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next videos.